Yeah. Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. What time is it over there? Is it in the evening?
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, but it's pretty much dark outside now.
Is
I
it?
hate winter. Yeah.
Worst about winter. It gets so dark and it makes you all tired early and
Yeah. 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 So
is it pretty cold there right now?
yeah, the last couple of days have been freezing, like real cold.
Oh,
But doesn't look like it's gonna snow or anything, so that's kind of annoying. Like you want it to
yeah,
at least
that's how
be
I
warm.
feel. If it's cold, it should at least be like snowy.
Exactly, yeah. And my friend sent me a photo from Germany and it's snowing there, so I'm like, oh, fingers crossed.
That'll be so cool. Are you gonna go to like some of those Christmas markets in Germany?
Yeah, yeah,
That looks so cool. I'm jealous.
yeah. I'm so excited, so that'll be fun.
That'll be fun. Hi Jade.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Ah, happy Sunday.
Yeah, happy Sunday. My day of rest.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess let's just jump into things kind of like we did the first time when all of us were together. I'll just kind of go over like the first part that we covered and have you guys discuss, and then we'll go over the second part of module 3, discuss, and then just kind of wrap things up and see where you guys are at and have any like questions we can answer, concerns, that kind of thing. So, part 1 of module 3 was content marketing strategy, so you guys could define your online presence, pretty much so that you can focus more on content versus having to focus on like marketing strategies that are mundane and boring. And that way you can focus on like your pillar content and then just building up a strategy that worked for you. So, in terms of what you guys can discuss individually, I would say probably like we could talk about your content analysis. So, like what you analyze in terms of like your current content, what maybe you found is converting well for you right now, and maybe what's not. And then maybe talk about like the strategy that you want to implement into improving on that content. And then maybe like an overview of like the blog workflow that you created, or if you have any questions on that, we can cover that. So I'll have Ashley go ahead and start questions here, and then we'll move on to Jade.
Right. So this is part 1, isn't it, that we're doing?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like we went over before, like kind of my audience is the young adults looking to travel, not quite sure how to do it. So what I found, so I wrote out kind of my goals and stuff for like followers and engagement and stuff. Do you want me to talk through my like customer journey or?
Yeah, you can just share whatever you want to talk about most, and then we can kind of just discuss from there. So whichever you feel like talking about the most.
Okay, so yeah, so I did my customer journey, but it was quite interesting how you'd done it backwards. So then I went and did it forwards so that I could kind of work out which way they kind of go through, if that makes sense. So like which channels they were coming through. So when I wrote this out, I was looking at my channels and saying that even though Pinterest and Facebook are my main ones, I was thinking that I would try and get, if I was going to do a paid offer, it would probably be more relevant to my Instagram followers. So I thought that would be kind of where they would come from through there, and then go on that journey to kind of potentially maybe like you said before, like Lightroom presets or something like that, and go through with the free opt-in like we talked about on Thursday and things. But then when I got into the next part about content analysis, that kind of changed everything, because when I was I've looked at Google Analytics before, but I never actually really like delved into it. And just like, I think it was yesterday or the other day, I was like going through it and I was like, oh wow, there's actually like so much information there that you can like go through. It's really helpful. So I found out like what days of the week most people were coming on, and where most of my traffic's coming from, and over 50% was coming from Pinterest. So and then I had like Facebook was quite high as well, and then Instagram was like less than 5%. So I was like, wow, probably not a good way to try and target an Instagram like audience that isn't like clicking through. So I think that if I do go into making a customer journey, that I definitely would try and focus more on Pinterest and make a few different templates and kind of go that direction, I think, because that is obviously a lot higher turnover for me than it is anywhere else. So that was what I found the most interesting going through my content analysis. And that people mainly go on Mondays, which is quite interesting as well.
It's very interesting how everyone's different. Like some people are like during the week or on the weekends. Or were you able to find that area of your analytics where it had like demographics, like in percentage wise of like how many people are looking from like different countries? Have you been able to look at that?
Yeah. So generally, I was looking individually. I can remember from Pinterest, most of my followers were from the States. From Instagram, in terms of countries, most are from New Zealand, and then the UK and the States were next. So yeah, that was kind of that side of it. And then from Facebook, it was pretty much New Zealand because it's just basically my friends and family on Facebook. Yeah, but then mostly just in general, it's pretty much majority female, majority kind of 25 to 34 age range. Is kind of the main target pretty much across the board. That was pretty much standard, which is, I guess, the most highest use of social media is kind of that demographic anyway, isn't it, really? So,
right. So do you find that the demographics that on your analytics are aligning with your ideal readers?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. That helps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, so female in the 20s, and then, yeah, I guess the play where they're from doesn't really, it's not a massive pull to why like what I'm sharing and stuff, because it's about travel. It's wherever you're going. It's a destination, isn't it? So it's not quite so prominent, I guess.
Have you found that maybe like less people are clicking through on your Instagram account? Does that make you feel like you want to keep pushing the Instagram for your followers, or is that like, do you want to hold back from that? How does that make you feel?
It's a little bit frustrating, but because I enjoy it a lot more, just because I like sharing the photos, I like interacting with other people and stuff. So it's more just kind of frustrating because it's like, oh, I actually like going on there, and I go on there every day, whereas Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook, I don't go on every day. So it's kind of frustrating, but yeah, I think I will still try and push it a little bit because I had written, I was like, it could, if I was targeting for my Instagram followers, it could go either way, because if I started like going for presets and stuff, like that could actually attract more people to my account anyway. And then, or it could just flop because they aren't clicking through, so it's just like not going to work at all. But like, yeah, it could go a positive way as well. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I think Pinterest will still have a following of people. If I do, for example, do the like presets or something, they will, I mean, there's still market on there for that anyway, so I think it's
right.
Yeah,
I definitely think your main two channels you should definitely focus on, according to what you just told me, what we've talked about. So obviously like Pinterest, kind of, just doing maybe like a couple different templates, focusing on that. But you don't have to, thing about Pinterest though that's awesome is you really don't have to like spend a whole lot of time on it. Like you said, you don't have to visit your profile all the time. You don't really need to go on there. You can automate that. So then that's where you can focus like the rest of your time on like Instagram and like determining different ways that you can try and get your audience to click through towards your website. And like you said, if like your final offer is those Lightroom presets, really giving that like presence on Instagram of like your knowledge and photography, the basic Lightroom tutorials, that kind of thing, and kind of build your authority on that on Instagram, and then focus for Pinterest strictly on just like sending people to your actual website. And then that can go a different way where they come to Pinterest and find you through Pinterest. They go to your website and then maybe they go to your Instagram. So kind of channeling it two ways, if that makes sense, like through Pinterest to your website to your Instagram, or like
Mm.
Instagram to your website, etc.
And then further, yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it's a multi-directional journey, isn't it? Really, it can be.
And it's quite interesting once you get to actually look at your analytics, like what is showing up on that side, because it makes you really wonder like how they get that information.
Yeah.
Curious, like that's kind of crazy that they can get that
Mm.
kind of information, but it really does help.
Yeah.
So
What I
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What I did find though, which was interesting. So even though like a very small percentage were actually coming from Instagram, the ones from Instagram were staying a lot longer on the site. So they were staying a couple of minutes longer than anyone from Pinterest was. So I was like, that's an interesting one that was also maybe it's more quality clicks through or something. I don't know,
More people, what's the word? They're more intrigued on Instagram, like your Instagram community versus like Pinterest. For Pinterest, for me too, like if I see something on Pinterest personally, I just kind of like skim through it. So I'm not as long because maybe I don't know that person very well, or I just like want like the basis of the information. Whereas you kind of already built up your following, so they're like, oh, okay, like I actually want to read about her journey in Germany and her little Christmas vacation with her family, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's true. It's the same way I use it as well. So it makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Okay. And then in this part 1, did you have anything else you wanted to share? Like, maybe like the blog workflow. I know that one of your goals in the beginning was like consistency and then just like kind of building up process. So do you have a current process in terms of like creating your blog post? How does that look for you right now? And then like how do you want to map that out in the future so that, you're not overwhelmed and you can plan out your post accordingly, but not feel like you're rushing it?
Yeah. At the moment, I just kind of go one by one. I don't really I plan it out, so I know, okay, I'm going away this weekend and I want to write about that, but I'll give myself like a week or two to sort the photos and everything. So, so I can kind of plan like about a couple months ahead. Be like, okay, I'm going to post this one then, this one then. But yeah, I just kind of go photos, then draft, then edit kind of thing. It's not too fancy, but I'm going to try and get like just like a real basic diary or something for the new year, and then like try and plan it all out and write like every week what post I'm going to do, when I'm going to post on Instagram, and like all of that, and like try and have it all together. Because I have my own like my personal diary and stuff, but I kind of want to keep my blog separate, otherwise it will just get too overwhelmed with all the stuff I have to do. So I'm going to try and separate it out, and then I'm working on a blog post every second week, just because I do quite hefty ones. They're quite big, so it takes a lot of time, and I just can't really churn out much more than that. And then doing a weekly review, but I am going to try and look at that email list thing as well, and maybe try and start that in the new year as well. So that will be another one. But yeah, if I have a diary and set it all out, that's kind of, I need it to be written down, like handwritten. I find that easier.
So, that's how I am. I think that's a good plan. My only suggestion would be when you're planning it out, just leave some room for flexibility, just in case like maybe for some reason you can't go on a trip or something comes up and you're just like not feeling like having to post, about that certain topic. Just leave the flexibility to say, okay, like this could be a potential one that I don't post, or having like a backup post, like a backup list of ideas in case like you don't go on a trip, or you start to write about a trip or something, or a weekly review, and you don't feel like doing it, because I mean a lot of the time like we say we're going to write something, and then when it comes to actually like creating the content, we just don't feel that creativity. So just the flexibility. But I think I'm the same way, like writing it out just kind of helps solidify that plan of action, like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing, like, ahead of time. That way you're not overwhelmed and like, oh crap, I'm not putting out a blog post, like it'll be okay. So I think that's fun.
No, I think so. I've got a few, there's a couple of trips I haven't like done posts on later, like a few months ago, that I haven't done, so I'm like, I've got them in the bank if I need to, if I miss a week or whatever. So that's quite good.
All right. Do you have anything else to add about part 1?
No, not really. No,
Okay.
that's about it.
All right, I will mute you and then unmute Jade. All right, Miss Jade. So we can talk about whatever you want to share and then just kind of go from there.
All right. Well, looking at the analytics was super insightful and really kind of, Ashley was saying, just made me kind of see things differently than I originally thought it was, even though I a perfect understanding of where my traffic was coming from and everything, or when it is too. That was a big thing. Because kind of like how she said she was surprised Mondays were popular. I already like focus on Mondays because that's the time of the week when I'm more likely to like just search out things and be inquisitive because I don't want to focus on work, but that's just my, and I think a lot of other people are guilty of that though. So I think you were part of it. So I always focus on trying to post on Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays, and that does work for me, but I found out most of my followers are actually more active on Thursdays and Fridays on Instagram. But my blog posts do more successful on Sundays and Mondays. So there's kind of I just need to be more consistent throughout the week, not just on that beginning, you know. That was helpful.
Good.
And I know I'd told you thinking about going to just once every other week with blog posts, but then when I saw how much more drastic my blog page views are whenever I post every week, I was like, okay, no, I have to post like I really want to, you know. So just exciting seeing those numbers. So and but so having that blog workflow plan really helped too, like just so I can see how I can make that happen every week and think of those days off when I can batch write posts. So that was very helpful too. Let me see. I think definitely most of I realized I didn't actually look at the Google Analytics page. I looked at all of my social media and like my Blue Jetpack analytics. I didn't Google, so I'm going to have to revisit that because I really haven't even played around with that yet. So
yeah, I think there's like a tutorial maybe Google has on that, because at first it's like very overwhelming to just sit there and look at it and be like, I'm not sure where to go. It's like for me personally, like I like to look at the page views obviously, and then demographics, and then there's like the acquisition page where you can see like which specific pages post of your website are the most popular, which can give you some really good insight, and it's pretty interesting to see personally, like when I've done it, which posts have been the most popular. And really I think it just generates over time as a Pinterest, you know, it circulates so much if you're using Pinterest that like a really old blog post might be like the most popular one, and you're like, whoa, like I wrote that so long ago. So something to also keep in mind for both of you, like when you're looking at analytics, is like that data kind of, I feel like, is kind of over here when we're over here, because Pinterest, especially since it's such a big channel for us, what I'm trying to say is like it might seem weird to us because it's from so long ago, but it's just because it keeps circulating and circulating, and it takes time like for a new blog post to like really hit the fan on Pinterest if that's like one of your channels. So it's pretty interesting to actually look at your analytics, and I would suggest for you guys not to get too stuck on it, but to revisit it maybe like every quarter, just to kind of measure how you're doing, see if like your readers are still the same as far as like their demographics, as far as when they're visiting, and kind of see how that's converting with like the current strategies that you're using. So
yeah, it definitely helps strategies and know where to change your direction and where to keep focusing.
Right. And like you said, your Instagram followers, and with Ashley, like your Instagram followers and like people that are coming to visit just your site, like organically, maybe from Pinterest or wherever, it's on two different spectrums. You know, your Instagram followers are over here on like Fridays and Saturdays, whereas like blog posts, they want to come read them on Mondays. So kind of gives you an idea of, okay, how to map out like which types of content you want to push out during the week. and then, like you said, create that blog process workflow. Okay, I'm going to do this on these days, and then I'm going to start batching my content, however many times a month or whatever it works for you. So in terms of like your current schedule, I know for you too, like a big thing was, the consistency and just like finding that time where you're creative and you want to create content. Do you feel like you're going to be able to find the time to do that, where you can sit down and like when you're feeling inspired and create that content, and then kind of like batch it out so you're not having to do it like every week?
Yeah, I actually recently, in the last few weeks, I used to always work out on my lunch break at work, but it's always at work when I'm in that productive mode that I get all the creative ideas.
Yeah.
So I've been working out in the mornings or evenings, and then on my lunch break, just going into one of the conference rooms and batch writing tweets or Instagram posts, or at least working on a blog post. I haven't gotten to batch writing of them because it's only an hour, but in terms of the tweet, really a good time too.
Oh, that's great that you're finding the time, even like during work, that you're like already in that creative process, that you can even tweets, that's like a big thing too. Like, scheduling them ahead of time instead of having to like do them beforehand. That's really awesome.
Yeah, because I used to just like I'd just have a moment where I thought of something and then I'd have to go to Twitter and tweet it, and which is fine. I still want to do that too, those genuine in the moment thoughts.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I need planned ones for the times I'm not going to be feeling like it. So
exactly.
Especially with Instagram, there's a lot more planning than just a quick thought to write out. There's the picture and the spacing, that stuff. So I'm working batching those too.
Exactly.
So.
Good. I'm glad you found some time and you've started to kind of create that process for yourself and kind of see what that looks like for you.
Yeah, I'm still not consistent fully yet, but I've definitely gotten more consistent. So that's where like progress.
Well, yeah, and it's just those little steps, even if it's just tweets, like that's a big thing, because that's just going to kind of get you into the mindset of, okay, this is what batching is going to look like. And then eventually like start batching your blog posts, which for you, like your blog posts there, it's a lot of heavy content. It's the kind of content you want to create when you're in that creative space, that inspired space, kind of taking that inspired action instead of like sitting there like crab, like kind of like I was saying earlier, like just kind of pushing out a post even when you don't feel like it. So when you're batching it, you want to be able to do it when you're in that headspace that you're able to create that quality content.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right. Do you have anything else you want to add about part one? I know part one's kind of like, I don't know, not mundane, but like I feel like part two is more exciting. That's when we talk about like signature offers. So I'm like, let's talk about that.
Oh, do I start? Oh, and then
I'm gonna have Ashley go and
okay, just make sure.
Like switch around. I've just got to find my notes real quick. Okay, so Ash, we're going to talk about part two, signature offer, before I have you start talking. I just want to like give a little preface to it because I know you guys have already like done the training and the work, whatever. But like I don't want to push the fact that you guys like have to make money with your blog. Like I don't want you to think like that's like an absolute must. It's just I want to give you the training and the tools and like my personal method to creating a signature offer and monetizing, because I know that with both of you in your different industries and your different fields, like, and us talking about, creating that brand authority and setting ourselves up in a different way from everyone else is really going to help you guys if you decide that, later on, say like 6 months, a year from now, you decide you want to set up services or products, you have that foundation and mindset to go ahead and do it. And I feel like everything we've been working on is like setting you up for that. So just want to like preface it with saying like, don't feel like pressured to, start selling stuff right away, or that like we have to make money in what we're doing, because, it's not about the money. It's really about that transformation that I want to emphasize, that transformation for your particular ideal reader, how you want them to transform from point A to point B and kind of really resonate with your brand story. So, Ash, or both of you guys in terms of what we're talking about in this second part. I really want to talk about, again, that customer journey. If you kind of want to walk me through your customer journey, and then maybe details of your signature offer or an idea of a signature offer that you'd like to implement down the road. So I'm going to unmute you real quick, Ash, and then you can go.
Okay. So I don't have signature offer yet, but I think most of it, my ideas have kind of come from our talk on Thursday, Nicole, just about like the emails and the Lightroom and everything. So ideally my customer journey would be they'd either come from probably from Instagram or Facebook from the blog, or I'd probably start actually through my email once I start my email thing. So I'll start that, and then I think in like a few months or maybe late next year, looking into starting some presets of some sort. And I would probably start with like you were saying, having like a free opt-in. So like maybe an not an Insta story, but the IGTV thing, maybe to like guide people like using Lightroom on their phones, because Lightroom on your phone is free, so everyone's got that access, and kind of just showing them just like basic like exposure changes and color changes and things, and then be like, yeah, well, come to my blog or my Instagram, and we can I can offer you some presets, and then go through that journey, the emails, and then look at like having a set of presets, maybe just a few different ones for them to like use on their phone or on the computer, however they use their Lightroom. But I think showing them how to use it on their phone would be quite good, just like because it is more accessible for people, because it's free, it's not paid software. But yeah, I haven't like thought the whole thing like completely through. I don't really know how to I know how to make a preset myself. I don't know how to download them for other people to be downloading them. That would be something I'd have to look into if I was going to go that way. But yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
Of the Instagram TV, because that's so neat that if you can find a way to implement Instagram TV and then do like these basic beginner tutorials, like I said, like you don't have to be like a complete expert in Lightroom to be able to do that. Like that's where your authority is like you're a beginner too, so learn with me. And like where you can put your stance on like your Lightroom filters if you were to like offer paid ones eventually. And again, like you're not that typical travel blogger. Like you're not going to be offering the same orangey blue super like clarity is like 100 on your pictures, right? It's more or less about enhancing that photo, and then you can even put a spin on it, like I know people already do that, but where they name like their Lightroom filters based off of like the location, but just also backing it up with, you know, the history and the story behind your business, like the reasoning behind why you went there. And because I know you're really good at sharing like stories behind, you know, just like different little architectural spots or just little places, like that authentic travel experience is what you're offering information on. So really like that. And yeah, you don't have to have like this big drawn out signature offer that you have to have now, something to consider later on down the road. I think the main thing is really just like focusing as far as like the journey on that transformation you want to have your ideal reader experience. So let's kind of talk about that. Like, let's share with me, like, just give me like a random person, like where they're at now, like their before transformation, and then where you want them to be or experience after they've come to your blog or they've come to you through Instagram and then they visited your blog. Like what kind of transformation do you want them to have?
I want them to feel confident in like that travel is a great idea, that they should go somewhere different, go somewhere new, somewhere they haven't been, and it's scary, but it's achievable. You can do it. It's not. I want them to just be confident that it's a great idea to do, and it's like and sure it can be expensive, but it's worth it, and you don't have to go to the like, even though I love Paris and I love Rome, they're great places, but you don't have to go to the like main places. You can go the smaller towns and smaller cities, and you'll still get a really cool, different experience. I just wanted I wanted to feel confident in their travel, I think, which I guess isn't really directly related to Lightroom presets.
And, you know, like I said, you'll kind of like discover like as you go. Like I think once you get into the email marketing and you create your free opt-in, you'll kind of get a sense for like, is this aligning with me? Like, is this really what I want to offer people? And if it is, then that'll take you, continue you on. And then, sorry, I lost my train of thought. And then as far as like that transformation, it might not directly relate to Lightroom at the moment, but as you're like working through your ideal reader and like you keep pushing forward, you can come to like create some kind of like simple process for your ideal reader that maybe like this process looks like how to overcome your fear of moving abroad, or you could even touch on the like objection of expense. Like that's a really big thing for people. Like for me, when I moved abroad, like a lot of people were like, it's expensive, I could never do that. You know, maybe you could create eventually like this simple like 3 or 5 step process of like creating the mindset that it's okay, or like having the what's the word I'm trying to think, like confidence to do it even when people are like trying to give you objections as to why not, if you know what I'm trying to say.
The mindset that if people say you can't do it, like there's always reasons to do it and why it's so important and such a good idea to do it, I guess.
Like a 5-step process. Don't even have to be a process, but like how to overcome fears behind moving abroad or something like that, you know. Just a way for like you to help other people, like you said, gain that confidence and like overcome any insecurities they might have about abroad. For a lot of people, like we've talked about before, it's kind of like you're leaving your family and friends behind. Like how do you cope with that, or just like coping with that emotional journey, because it is an emotional journey, you know. It's not like all fun and luxurious like you said, and like you said, you don't have to go to Paris and Rome. You can visit all these other neat little places that a lot of people haven't heard about. So I think you've got a really good like start on it. It's just a matter of like as you start your email list and you start creating these more consistent blog posts and defining yourself, you'll come to find how you can serve on a more deeper level, like what your thing's gonna be, whether that's Lightroom presets, whether that's like the services where you like work with people one-on-one on like traveling abroad and you helping them. You'll come to find like what makes you like happy, like what's gonna help you find that confidence too to serve other people on a more deeper level. So I think you're on like the right path for sure.
Cool. No, thanks. So I think it's just some more thought.
I don't want you to feel like Lightroom doesn't really, you know, seem like it would help with this transfer. Just kind of just go for it, you know, like just dive into it and see what really feels good for you, because I think either direction you go, or if you go like a totally different direction, like you're going to be great in it because you've already got that content, you've already got that confidence, and we've kind of already talked about like your brand story and what makes you different. So that's really separating you already from all these other travel bloggers. So awesome. Do you have anything else to add?
No. I think that's all.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna mute you then. Okay, Jade, kind of same thing. Just share with me like your customer journey, and then kind of like emphasize that transformation for your particular reader and how you're going to serve them.
Okay. Well, first off, this was like my favorite Unspired action for sure, because it got me a lot more clear on things that it's been like a just vague idea in my head. So that really helped me work it out. But basically my overall goal, I haven't figured out like a catchy way of saying it, but I want the person to go from being like insecure and unsure to like more intentional with life and feel unlimited with what they can become, like empowered and stuff. So I would say the transformation would be, I know there's a lot of people out there who they lack confidence and happiness in life because they're so hard on themselves. It's kind of hard to interact with the rest of the world when they can't even get along with themselves, you know, like there's just that big. So my goal to help them transform is to, with my free content, you know, even just open them up to the idea, warm up to the idea of, oh my gosh, I could like myself, or maybe I could change something here instead of just wishing life was better, you know? So free content to do that, just the sparking that thought. And then when they do opt in, I want it to be just, you know, just a little bit deeper into it, make them think a bit more, and actually kind of just like this exercise for me, actually dig deeper, mentally think through it themselves. And then once I have that, I'd like to, just with regular interaction with emails and stuff, but then also I'd like to do like a 5-day challenge. I think that'd be really fun, like with emails in a Facebook group or something. So I would also build a Facebook group, but then at the end of that offer, the I wouldn't say it's my signature offer, because I feel like eventually my signature offer will just be my coaching, my one-on-ones and groups. But I'd love to have a course that's pretty affordable for people, because I think it's a wide enough issue that I could, you know, it would be worth making it more for people. Plus, just for my like personal desire to help people in that way, I want it to be more affordable and not as much a monetization thing. But so the transition would be, they would just be given like the mental tools to have more positive resilience in their life. And yeah.
Okay, I like that. All right, so many exciting things going on. So I think I read somewhere that you were going to start doing like a podcast.
Yeah, my friend and I are so excited.
That's so cool. I think I love podcasts. I binge on them every morning, so I'm excited for that. So you'll have to like give me the link to that. That's really exciting. And that's another way to go about giving free content and drawing people in. So that's very exciting.
And she owns a blog too.
Really?
Nice combination, collaboration, yeah.
Good. I'm really excited to see how that plays out for you guys. I think that'll be really great. So a lot of what I am hearing as far as like your transformation and like the free opt-in and like the services is like you're going to focus more on like internal growth, internal development, instead of like giving them a quick win on like just like the external things. Like you really want to dive deeper into like the internal challenges people are facing, like you said, actually coming to liking yourself, which you're going to focus more on like them coming to terms with that other than like the outside looking in. So I think that's really good that you're going to give them like this quick win in the form of like an ebook or something like that. And the 5-day challenge, that is super easy to put together, where you can offer like a quick win in terms of like just these little emails. And then like you said, this Facebook group where you can create that community platform that I know that you can serve on a deeper level with people. And then eventually, like you said, leading them to that signature offer, which will eventually be coaching. But I like that you talked about doing maybe like a self-paced course, more of like an affordable course, which is great for those who maybe can't invest in like one-on-one coaching right away. So I think that'll be great. I have your notes pulled up right here. So what's the first offer you would want to implement first? Would it be like your ebook, or would you want to dive into like services first?
Definitely the ebook with a worksheet. Just the free opt-in is where I want to start, just to build my email and just to first test out that content.
Okay. I would say from there you could even do like, see how your ebook goes, see how that like 5-day challenge goes, get some feedback on that, and then eventually maybe you could start offering like free, and this would be up to you, you know, free like one-on-one 15-minute, like you call them like soul sessions or something fun like that, where like, you know, you kind of hop on Twitter already with people where you just like hop on like this, or maybe in the form of email communication, because maybe your readers are more like introverted, they don't want to hop on like this. I know that I've experienced that before, but more where you can offer them again like a quick win on a 15-minute call, and that's just going to keep building up your authority, going to build up that relationship and build your community even bigger. So that's something you could think about doing if that's something you would be willing to do.
Yeah, definitely.
And that would get you prepared for like the one-on-one coaching and kind of give you a feel for, okay, what kind of process do I want to create for one-on-one coaching? What am I comfortable doing? What are my readers comfortable with in terms of like, are they wanting to do one-on-one face-to-face calls? Are they more comfortable with email coaching? And are they going to want to join a Facebook group where they're interacting with other people? So that'll just give you like a really good feel as to like what kind of process is going to work best for you.
Yeah. What was that? With the market research survey, I did get like, I got like 25 responses, which was really exciting. And I was pretty surprised how many people said one-on-one group sessions, because pretty much, I think almost it was 16 out of the 25 put that their biggest issue is their relationship with themselves. So I thought, I mean, that was like the number one answer for that question. And the fact that they are still open to doing one-on-ones was exciting. So like, it was like the question, like, which offer would you be more likely to pay for or be considered?
Yeah.
That was very helpful, getting all that feedback.
Yeah, that's always interesting, especially for the people that do kind of suffer with like their internal growth and coming to terms with themselves, whether or not like on like in a group level, like are they going to thrive in a group session or are they going to thrive on a one-on-one? So that's very interesting. You could even do like masterminds where you have just like a smaller group of people that come together. You meet over like 12 weeks. You know, you could structure it however, but I think you've got a lot of potential for what you're wanting to do. It's just a matter of like just containing all that energy and like putting it towards one thing for now, because it's like I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, but but I really yeah, you have a really good idea as to like what you want to offer for your free opt-in, your lead magnet. So just let that be the driving factor, and just like continue to ask for that feedback so you can kind of determine again like which direction do I want to go in. You don't want to put yourself in a box yet, but you also don't want to spread yourself so thin that you're trying to do like 18 different things. But I really think that you're going to, as far as like a life coach, you're going to thrive in like this kind of like a group session. That would be great. You could even, you know, eventually do like a membership site or something like that, or even like treat your Facebook community as a membership where you offer one-on-one sessions each month to like one person. You'll sit down for 20 minutes and do something where you guys work on some sort of exercise or activity. It's exciting.
Yeah. And yeah, when I was filling this out, I had like, you know, years of time in mind. It wasn't like I know I'm not going to do this all in the next year, but it's just I want to at least have the vision so I can like decide where to start first, you know, and the steps. So,
and I think like I said, since we talked the first time in the summer, like just watching you from where you were at and then like where you're at now, like as far as like your confidence and your drive to actually do it, like I've known that you've had like all these ideas. It's just like having that foundation and like the confidence to say like, okay, I'm gonna do this, like I can do this, like I sense that from you now, and I'm really excited for the direction you're heading in.
Thank you. Last thing, I finally did an Insta story with my face talking to the
I seen that last night. I was making dinner and I had you playing on my phone. I was like, look at her go.
Yeah, she did it. Yeah.
That's very awesome. It's those little steps, like we were talking about earlier, like just like those little steps are the biggest steps, because now that you've done it, it's like, oh, that's not so bad. And then you're just like going to keep building from there. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add? Or
nope.
questions? Okay. Awesome. I'm so excited for you guys. Like I just love watching both of you like go from where you were in the beginning to like where you're going to go. And I know it's going to take some time to get there, but like I can't wait to watch you guys in like a year from now, what you're doing. And I'm going to be like, oh, we talked about that. They're going to be doing so well. I'm so excited. Okay. Well, that is like it for the program, which is kind of sad to me. Like it went by really fast, and now it's the holidays, so it's kind of nice that we're ending it now with the holidays coming up, because I know Ash has got some traveling coming up. Her parents are in town, and then here in the States we've got Christmas. So anyways, if you guys have anything else you want to say or comments, I think you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, we can wrap this up.
I just want to say thanks. It's been so good. Like I was really lucky that I like got the spot in this like boot camp anyway. But thank you so much. It's been so helpful and just great to like actually just write everything down on paper and just like have like some guidance to like and like someone just to be like, oh, you can do it. Like just do these kind of steps. Like I mean, obviously it's everyone's different and you put your own thing into it, but it's just been really good. So just want to say thanks. I really enjoyed it. It's been really fun. So cool.
And I'm glad you won the spot too, because I know you've kind of always been that person that's always like, well, I closed my Facebook group down for reasons, but you've always kind of been that person that's been there, but I haven't really gotten to know you very well. So it's been really so
no, it's been good.
Yeah, this is a really great experience. So, and it's definitely given me a lot more confidence and more clarity. So thank you very much.
That was my goal. Well, I hope you guys have the confidence that you need. That was like my biggest thing, like building that confidence, not worrying too much about like, marketing and sales and all that, but just like having that confidence to show up in your guys' individual like industries, because you two are like completely different lanes, but see you guys like transform, like I said, later down the road. So thank you guys for being such great students. It's weird calling you students, but people in my group.
Yeah.
Well, we can always stay in contact. That will still be open. I'm going to make this like group program into like a self-paced class where I won't be doing one-on-ones obviously with people, but they'll still have like access to the entire course. So I'm going to keep the Facebook group open for people that. So
nice.
All right.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much. You've been great. I'll upload this to Teachable, and then you guys will have like unlimited access to the actual program. So if you ever want to like hop back on or like watch any of the trainings or get any of those like resources, you can still have access to that.
Right. Good.
Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday.
Yeah, you too.
See you guys.
Right,
See you later. Bye.